In this video, we're going to be talking about the powerful ice type Baxcalibur. We're going to be using it in ranked battles, and in this video, we're going to show you how it performs and how to build this Baxcalibur to be an insanely powerful ice type that is able to sweep your enemy team if needed. Alright, so let me show you some ranked gameplay of footage, me using Baxcalibur in a ranked match over here, starting off straight up with Baxcalibur, and we're going up against an enemy Garchomp that is stuck in the ground for some reason, and we're going to use Icicle Spear, which this build is entirely catered for. We got really lucky because this is super effective against Garchomp. Even our Dragon type move is super effective, which is fantastic. Garchomp is going to be incredibly weak to this. Now, since we EV train speed, we're going to be faster than this Garchomp, as well as having the held item loaded dice, which allows us to use this Icicle Spear up to 4 to 5 times. Usually it's a random between 2 and 5, and you can see Garchomp just ate a berry there, and we just continue attacking it. Pokemon who hold berries, or things like Mimikyu, who are avoid the first attack, but don't take damage off the second time, are not able to face Baxcalibur, because Baxcalibur will just destroy them with this Icicle Spear over and over and over, because it will hit it 4 times in a row, or if you're lucky, 5 times. Now, we are weak to fire, and you can see here Skelly is out here using a fire attack on us. However, we're quite a tanky Pokemon, right? And every time we do get hit by a fire type attack, because of our ability Thermal Exchange, our attack actually goes up, makes us even stronger, which is great, right? So it looks like our opponent here has leftovers. We're going to go ahead and use Earthquake or Crunch to deal with the things that are not super effective with Ice or Dragon typings. Earthquake over here is going to go out, and Skelly should take a big hit there. Looks like that is one tanky boy. Looks like we're going to basically be fighting this one out on who gets the most damage out. Looks like it's going to probably be me if I can get this next Earthquake to really do a lot of damage. So it has a decent amount of coverage with all of these different attacks. It has Ice, it has Dragon, Ground, as well as Dark type coverage. It is definitely a very tough Pokemon to beat when you go up against it, because it is quite tanky, and it deals a lot of damage if it does manage to hit you. Alright, so now let's look at how to build this Baxcalibur in particular. So this Baxcalibur doesn't need to be higher than level 55, so you're in luck. If you're using it only for ranked, it doesn't need to be higher than level 55, which is perfect. Now, if we do go ahead and look at its summary over here, and we go into its moves and stats over here, you can tell this Pokemon has a very good health and a very good physical attack, which is great. We actually have the nature, which is called Jolly, which increases our speed, but decreases our special attack. If you go to your bags and you go to the rare candy icon and you go to the mints section here, a Jolly Mint will give you the nature that you need. This will allow you to increase your speed, allowing you to go faster than some Pokemon, but it makes your special attack weaker, but that's fine. We're using physical attacks only. It is also obviously recommended that you hyper train or get best IVs in every single stat. You don't need it in special attack, but if you have it, you have it. If you have the bottle caps, you can do it. You might as well. I mean, you might as well have everything best. There's no reason not to. But everything else, HP, attack, defense, speed, and special defense need to be best or hyper trained for those extra 31 stats that go into each of those. Apart from IV training, the EV training that you need to do, if I press L on the screen here with the stats, you can see here we have maximum 252 EVs into attack and 252 EVs into speed. And then we have 1 EV into HP, so that we have a little bit more health. Now you can get 252 EVs by consuming 26 proteins in your bag over here. Obviously, you've seen my videos on how to train and stuff already. If you haven't and you don't know how to do any of these things, please check the video in the description so that you know how to fully train, because I don't want to do it for every single build video that I do. Alright, so moving on, you'll also need to take 26 Carbos to gain 252 EVs into speed. And then you can obviously take 1 HP up. If you want to be a bit more conservative, or you don't have as much money as I do, you can also use feathers instead of using 26. You can use 25 plus 2 feathers each time instead of 26 Carbos and 26 protein. But that's really up to you. I don't mind spending the extra money. Okay, so go to its moves and stats again over here. You'll see we have the ability Thermal Exchange. Now, this ability is really, really good. It's really needed. It's just its normal ability, so if you have the Thermal Exchange, you're sorted. If you have the other one, you have the hidden ability, and the only way to swap it is by using an ability patch, which is very, very difficult to get. So I'd recommend rather getting a Baxcalibur with a normal type ability, Thermal Exchange, and just catch a brand new one, or just, hatch new ones by breeding, because that is probably the hardest thing to get. Now, this ability will actually boost your attack stat when you are hit by a fire-type move. It also prevents you from being burned. And if you survive it, you will have your attack increased and you'll be able to hit back a lot harder onto the opponent. So thermal exchange is a good ability to have. Alright, so while we're still on the screen here, let's talk about the moves. Now there are some important moves here. The most important one is Icicle Spear. The user launches attacks like sharp icicles at the target, and it can hit between 2 to 5 times in a row. Now that is the entire purpose of this build, right? We have an item over here that is called Loaded Dice. This is the held item that we have here. Now when your Pokemon's holding this item, it will always roll a good number, meaning it will always be 4 or 5 times. So that Icicle Spear will always land or attack 4 to 5 times, which makes it incredibly strong. If you go back and look at the damage here, power 25, if it lands 4 times, 4 times 25, that is already 100 damage, and also it will negate things like berries or focus sashes or whatever because it's hitting multiple times. And if you get lucky enough to hit 5 times, well then, you know, that's 125 damage, which is also very nice. Now in order to get the held item Loaded Dice, there is a specific location that you can get this from here, and I'm going to go to the map, I'm going to show you. This is at Levencia, so right over here, the electric type gym area. Right at the top place over here, you'll see there is a Delibird present store, so I'm going to head over there now. Okay, so here is the store. Let's go ahead and go inside of it. We go to battle items, and you'll find Loaded Dice is 20,000 Poké right over there, so go buy some. I actually went ahead and bought 3 of every single item in the game. Okay, so we're going to go back to our summary here, and I'm going to explain the rest of the moves and go through how to get every single one of these moves. All right, so Icicle Spear is the hardest move to get here because you don't learn it naturally. It has to be through an egg move. You have to get this from another Pokemon and swap it onto this Pokemon Baxcalibur through the egg move moving method. So the first thing you need is another Pokemon that has this move, and the best one I found is Cloyster. If you find a Cloyster, it will have this move on it. If I go ahead and I press the plus button a few times here, you'll see its moves at the bottom right there. Icicle Spear. Now, all Cloyster needs to learn this move. It just needs to be evolved into Cloyster. So when you have a Cloyster, you just go to Remember Moves, teach it Icicle Spear, remove everything else so that it just has Icicle Spear. And what you're going to do is add this in your party. Now, once those two are in your party, all you have to do is make Baxcalibur hold the Mirror Herb item, which I'll show you where to buy in a second. So this item over here, the Mirror Herb, Baxcalibur needs to hold this item over here. So make sure Baxcalibur is holding that item. I've already done this, so I'm not going to hold it myself. Another thing you need to make sure of is that Baxcalibur has an open move slot over here. So I have 4 moves right now. I would do Forget a Move, Forget Icicle Spear, for example, or, you know, so that it's only 3 moves. And once you only have 3 moves in here and that Cloyster has the move that you want, all you have to do is make a picnic and then leave the picnic, and your Baxcalibur will have the Icicle Spear move. I've covered this a few times, and it's really super simple. Again, if you don't understand, the video in the description goes through all of the training methods very simply. Talking about the other moves here, Glaive Rush and Crunch are moves that Baxcalibur will learn through playing. It needs to be level 55 to learn Crunch. That's why I say you just have to be, the maximum level you need to be is 55 so that you can learn Crunch for a nice physical dark type attack if you do need a dark type super effective attack, which is going to be super rare. And then we have Glaive Rush, which is a Dragon type move. Now, since we are a Dragon and Ice type move, Icicle Spear and Glaive Rush are going to be your super effective moves because those are your 2 typings. Now, Glaive Rush is gained when you evolve Baxcalibur, or you evolve into Baxcalibur. So you should be able to just go into Remember Moves, and Glaive Rush will be there. The final move over here is Earthquake, and Earthquake is only learnable through TM. So what that means is you're going to have to go to a Poke Center, go to this green thing over here, and you're going to have to craft a Earthquake TM if you don't have one. It is 149, so on the TM list over here at 149, you'll see here these are the ingredients that you need. The hardest one for me to find was the Barboach Slime, because man, those things don't spawn often. But once you get those slimes, you can go ahead and craft an Earthquake, and then you learn it or teach it to your Baxcalibur as its 4th and final move. And now you're done. That is exactly how you're going to train your Baxcalibur for ranked combat. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any suggestions, let me know in the comments down below, and thank you so much for watching.